you should buy the Audi S5. It's that simple, but let me explain. First of all, if you're in the market for a luxury sports coupe, well, practicality isn't a really big concern for you. So first of all, rear seats, it has them. Can they really fit anybody? Does it really matter? No. Fuel economy, again, irrelevant. What is important is how good it looks, the quality interior, and how much fun it is to drive. And the Audi S5 performs exceptionally highly in all of those categories. The car's designer, Walter de Silva, called it the most beautiful car he's ever designed, and we are certainly not going to disagree with him. It's an incredible mesh of really masculine, muscular, aggressive lines with an overall shape that is absolutely beautiful. On top of that, it's the last of a dying breed. For starters, it's a German coupe, it's got a naturally aspirated V8 engine, and you can get it with a 6-speed manual transmission. The interior is just what you'd expect from Audi. It's very nice in here. We're talking about high-grade leathers, beautiful just materials used on the dash. We've got some great aluminum, and in general, all the pieces are high quality and really nicely assembled. There's also some great optional carbon fiber trim on this model, which will cost you a couple extra bucks, but really, suits this car. There's no old man wood trim in this vehicle. It really is sort of a younger man's sports coupe. If you're in the market for an Audi S5, you really have to upgrade to the Prestige model, which will cost you an extra $5,900, but you really have to. I mean, these are just the kind of things that you're going to want and love in a vehicle like this. We're talking about, keyless access, push-button start, which is always a great feature, especially when you're turning on that big 4.2-liter V8. A lot of other great options too, a navigation, a backup screen. It's also got reverse sensors, and perhaps sort of the most noticeable, the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which really is as good as they say. We recently had an Audi TT to test, and it was important to note the differences on that car, one of the oldest models in Audi's lineup, compared to the new Audi S5, one of the newer ones. And the real difference came on the interior with the MMI system, which is Audi's sort of telematics system, their infotainment system, if you want to call it that. The MMI system has been improved, it's modernized, the graphics are a little better, looks a little nicer, and they have made it a little easier to use. It's still not quite as intuitive as, say, BMW's iDrive, which everything seems to be in the perfect place. It just moves and does exactly what you want it to do. Even though it used to be the worst in the industry, it's probably now the best. So Audi still needs to do some improvement on their MMI. Apart from that, this interior is gorgeous. Under the hood is that 4.2-liter V8. It makes 345 horsepower and 325 foot-pounds of torque, and it'll do a 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. It feels like it, and it sounds like it too. Out on the open highway, the engine note is really kind of lost and muffled, which is probably good for longer drives. But you find yourself a nice canyon road, and this engine absolutely howls. You get to hear all the sort of great effects of a true V8. A $3,950 option included on this model is the Audi Drive Select system. Now, you actually use that through the MMI system, and it allows you to adjust a lot of different settings about the vehicle. We're talking about the suspension stiffness, steering responsiveness, and even the throttle responsiveness. And if you opted for the automatic transmission, you get the shift points built into that as well. Included in that package is the Audi Sport differential, meaning that not only does it distribute power front to rear, but also side to side in the rear, which is a great option. The whole idea behind that, says Audi, is to eliminate understeer, and that's really important because these Quattro Audis have always been known for an understeer issue. If you're considering an Audi S5, chances are you've already looked at the BMW and the Mercedes. Now, BMW, you can get a 335i or somewhere up to an M3. The M3 is really more of the serious performance driving enthusiast car, although it is a bit more bare bones and doesn't quite have the road presence. The same could actually be said of the Mercedes. It's not quite as dynamic a looking vehicle, although it is very original on the road. That's the E550 Coupe, by the way. That model costs a little bit more than an S5, and it has a bit more horsepower, but acceleration numbers are pretty much the same. I already mentioned a few of the things we don't really love about this car, and those include the ergonomics for the Audi's MMI system, as well as the steering feel, which is just a little bit awkward at times. But the biggest issue comes when it's dealing with the transmissions. Now, this car here has a 6-speed manual transmission, and that's probably what I would take if I was going to buy this vehicle. There is also a 6-speed automatic, which is great if you're looking for something a bit more daily usable. However, the automatic, you compromise on performance and sort of driving feel. Now, where's the dual clutch DS3 transmission that Audi is famous for? Well, you can't get it, not in the S5 Coupe. Anyway, you can get it in the Cabriolet. It's a 7-speed unit, and it's a great unit. We just wish that you could get it in this vehicle. So apart from the lack of a dual clutch transmission, the Audi S5 looks hot, it goes fast, and like I said at the start, you should buy it.